What's up? Is it in yet, family? I am back. I had a nice little getaway at the lake this weekend. It was very nice, very beautiful. Too cold to swim or anything, but just waking up every day, seeing the lake. I had my boys with me, and my husband had his son, and even our dog came, and she was kind of freaked out. I put her in the water a couple of times because she had a life jacket, and I'm like, let's try this out. She can already swim, but I didn't let her swim anymore. I just let her kick her little legs, but I figured, let's try out this life jacket. Happy Resurrection Sunday to everybody that celebrated. The message yesterday was just having peace that transcends all understanding. And in this world, you need it because this world is crazy. Every day you read the news, there's something crazy going on. Or houses are getting burned down. In my case with my mom's house, I have not had any updates on that, thank goodness. We had to go over there Friday and let the investigator in. They weren't home, so that's good. So, it's been quiet, and I'm going to appreciate this peace because I'm sure that I will get a call soon. So let's get back in this news. I got back on social media slowly. I stuck my toe in a little bit. Lots of stories. I'm learning a lot of sign language, more like cussing in sign language, which I'm enjoying. Like dumb B, shut up B. B is a pretty easy word, so I love it. And since I don't cuss verbally, non-verbal cussing is very fun, so I recommend this for you guys. In other news, there was another shooting yesterday. This guy, Connor Sturgeon, he was only 23. He was an employee at a bank. He was a star athlete who suffered so many concussions. They said he wore a helmet. He worked at a bank. He live streamed his rampage on Instagram before police shot him dead on Monday. They're saying back when he was a freshman at Lloyd Central High School in Floyd Knobs, Indiana. He was an all-around athlete. His father was head coach of the team. We played football together. Some of his people were thinking he had CTE. They said he posted subliminal messages. Everybody does these days, right? It's sad. Another shooting, man. That's why I said you have to stay in peace because you just don't know. San Francisco, the crime has continued to go up there. Their Whole Foods closed a year after. You got that much crime going on in there? Excuse me, my allergies. I had to wipe my nose. Let's see what else is going on besides this is wild. So also there's an NFL quarterback who was struck by a truck. He was drugged, blackmailed, and robbed before his death. His name is Dwayne Haskins. He was drugged, blackmailed, and robbed before the NFL quarterback was struck and killed by a dump truck on a South Florida highway 1 year ago on Sunday, according to a lawsuit in Florida last month on behalf of his wife. The lawsuit alleges that 4 of the 14 defendants, so 14 people, tried to rob and blackmail him. So this happened a year ago, but wow. He was a first round pick of the Washington, no longer Redskins. But he died of blunt force trauma after he was struck while trying to cross the street in Fort Lauderdale. It's real out here, y'all. And be careful who your friends are. Let's see what else is going on. Tiger Woods withdrew from the PGA. He is still in pain. You never think golf will put you in that much pain, but I saw that walking and twisting your back. I know it hurt me. I don't like any, I remember I tried to play baseball, like softball, and just the twisting of that back over and over again. You don't need that bat. You don't realize how much that does to you. Plus, I'm an old girl now. A 16-year-old heroically passed away rescuing kids that were stuck in the undercurrent in Florida. Rest in peace to that little hero. They're calling this lady the Doomsday Mom. Lori Vallow testified that the Doomsday Mom didn't want to raise her autistic son Joshua, instead became obsessed with religion and her new relationship with her current husband Chad. She remained quiet and quietly chatted with her attorneys as the biological grandparents told jurors that the once doting mother became an absent parent when her first marriage to JJ's adoptive father began to crumble in 2019. Woodcock said Charles, the financial consultant, had $1 million insurance policy and told her that he wanted to take his estranged wife off that policy. He wanted to name me a beneficiary to take Lori off. That's why she thought Vallow Dally didn't want to take care of the baby boy anymore. She killed her child. They also alleged the couple who believed we were living in the end times and the world was close to the end. And so she pretty much got rid of them. After the murder, she was browsing for wedding dresses and beach weddings. And yeah, sad. Doomsday Mom. Let's see here. I guess Walmart had an offensive shirt with a hidden curse after complaints. I'm not gonna read that. I don't need any hidden curses in my life. So I watched this movie, this show on Netflix called Beef this weekend, and it was a really good show. It was like, if you deal with like depression or life period, it was so good. And I loved the way that the two characters, you had one woman that was extremely rich and miserable, and one dude that was financially strapped and miserable. And I just love the way both of their lives like intertwined, and how they both were unhappy even though they should have had everything, and they were making everybody around them miserable. And if you are into that kind of, if you like good shows, it's definitely worth it. Also, Succession was on. So if you watch Succession, this is a spoiler. Logan passed away, man. And it actually made me sad because his kids were so bratty and horrible. But the fact that they were kind of broken by his death, like they were wanting to be so mad at him, but then he died unexpectedly. And, they all dealt with it in one way. I think Connor was my favorite because he said, like, he never even liked me and I never had a chance to make him proud. And I was like, wow, because that was deep, because a lot of people kind of feel that way about their parents, right? Like, you go your whole life trying to make your parents proud of you or make your parents like you or so-called love you, and it's just sad that that happened, even though it's a show. But I think it kind of hit home for a lot of people, just that show. And Logan will be missed. I'm like really glad this is the last season, because I think it's impossible for them to carry that show without him. He was such a massive character on that show. And then I've been watching Love is Blind. That show is just, this season, the people in there are trash. The women are trash this season. Jackie saying that the one dude wasn't masculine enough, and how she has self-work to do. And I'm like, are you guys vetting these people? Plus, she's only 26. I don't think you're ready for Love is Blind, ma'am. And marriage and all that. It's just too much. And it was sad. Why the marriage part I don't get. I think they should do the dating, and then they can just decide. Let's see what else is going on. Another a truck in East Palestine carrying toxic oil overturns in the same county as a train derailment. Very strange. Oh yeah, this was a really crazy thing. So the Dalai Lama, and then Cardi B got a reaction out of this, but he told this little boy to suck his tongue and give him a kiss, and it was on video, and it was strange. It was the strangest, and you know that it's not the only video out there, or I mean the only time he's probably done that. It was just so sickening, and I don't even care what kind of joke that was. That was just a strange request. I don't feel like it was a joke at all, but it was just gross, and Cardi was responding to it, and some people were giving her grief about it, but you know, people are gonna give you grief about anything in this world. But yeah, man, it's a lot of little news, but guess what is wonderfully happening now? I can kind of chill because now that I'm on social media, even though I have not vetted any stories whatsoever, but I did see this lady, Tasha K. So I'm going to play a lot of her interviews because she's messy and she stays with the mess. So she interviewed Wendy Williams' husband, this guy that said he allegedly slept with Wendy Williams' husband. So let's get into this. Y'all. Because I was like, wow, that's wild. So let's get into this here.
We exchanged DNA twice. One at the spa, one at the condo. And the one at the condo wasn't really me. You know, he practically came over there because I was his boy toy. I was somebody that he can get off on. Kevin was abused as a kid.
Okay.
You know, Kevin's mom didn't love him. She kicked him out early. You know, he's been through so much in his life, and he's a sick man. Sick. So I understood that. He told me all his little secrets about how he couldn't satisfy Wendy. She was too enlarged down there, and his little couldn't satisfy her.
Let him have Nikki.
She let him have Nikki. So she said, just don't get her pregnant.
Okay.
But she let him have Nikki because she knew he couldn't really satisfy her. The whole, probably the last 15 years, all she did was give him oral sex. That's why Wendy got so mad at that girl, at that lady on the show, when the lady was like, asked Wendy, and she was like, oh, I like the man, but you know, the man, his was just too little. That was my first time. I've been watching Wendy for a long time. That was my first time seeing her get emotional. Oh, what's wrong with you? Why would you talk about a man like that? You should be more mature than that. She got real upset because her husband did.
See, we already back in the mess. So basically, he's saying that Wendy Williams, this is alleged, this is Tasha K, and she's the one that got sued by Cardi B, but clearly she's not learned her lesson. But he's saying that he was Wendy Williams' husband, Kevin's boy toy, and that Kevin was allegedly so small that Wendy could only give him BJs, and she let him have another woman because this story is wild and crazy. So, also the Houston, Texans, DeAndre Hopkins, his mother was blinded by a jealous girlfriend who threw bleach and another concoction in her eyes and literally blinded her. So Tasha is interviewing this lady. So let's get into this here.
Savannah Grant.
That's correct.
Okay. On July 20th, 2002, you were 23 years old when you mixed up Clorox bleach with red lye and tossed it in the face of 30-year-old Sabrina Greenlee. She is now blind in both eyes due to the acid mix that was tossed in her face. You were sentenced to 20 years for assault and battery with intent to kill. This was all over a boyfriend that you both shared.
I didn't find out until after the incident during my court trial that they had been seeing each other. Well, she kept calling the house, and I was like, why do you keep calling my house? I have a baby here. You know, why do you keep calling and hanging up all night long? One of my friends, homeboys, they was like, you know, he's seeing this chick named Sabrina, the stripper chick that works at Godiva's. I was like, nah, I don't know her. I never heard of her, never seen her. And he was like, you guys kind of favor a lot. And I was like, I don't know who she is. Until one day I was at my cousin's house and Anton apparently used Sabrina's home phone and called me at my cousin's house. And she called back, but she had a conversation with my cousin, not me. And so my cousin called me and told me the nature of the conversation with the two of them. So we have a heated argument. He's ranting and raving and fussing. Are you effing that good? And you gonna give me some? And so he ripped my skirt off. So we're here in my living room, and I didn't have a whole lot of furniture at the time. And so we're right there on the floor, and somebody rang my doorbell. I said, don't answer it. I felt like it was her, and it was.
So, needless to say, even though she's trying to act like Sabrina accosted her, she's pretty much had this concoction ready. A lot of people are saying that she doesn't seem remorseful. They're saying let's normalize making the man accountable. She should have been put in jail and released when the victim could see again. Like, some people are saying she sounds like she's justifying her actions. 20 years over a man and you not even with him no more. I hope he was worth it. Let's see what else is going on. This lady, like I said, Cardi sued her, but she is still out here. So, Carl Thomas, who used to be on the label of Diddy, who's one of my favorite singers that I feel like Diddy screwed over all his singers, got a homeless woman pregnant and neglected the kids. Say it ain't so, Carl. Let's see what this is about.
All right, so you contacted me about 4 years ago.
And I was pregnant, remember?
You did send me recordings between you and Carl.
From this point on, all right?
Mm-hmm.
With every responsibility that I have, I don't have money to take care of my own family.
Carl, so emotional. And we're talking about like an R&B legend, one of Bad Boy's finest.
So I had a TV show on ABC and the CW in New York. It was called Free Nation, Word on the Street. It was basically just me highlighting local businesses and sneaking into concerts and doing celebrity interviews.
How did you and Carl meet?
He hit me up at 3 o'clock in the morning after his concert.
But 3 o'clock in the morning after.
Oh yeah, I already knew what it was.
You knew what it was.
I already knew what it was, and I was happy to get the call. I'm not even on front. I was happy to get the call. Yes, I did that night.
Oh my God!
And I have the pictures, the date, when I got there, what I had on and what he had on, and I have the picture of the next day of him with a different outfit on, and me with my same outfit on. That was the night we made our daughter.
On the first night?
Yeah, that was the night we made our daughter. We only had sex once.
I wish I never.
I was the one who told you to put the condom on. Let's remember that.
You saw him put on the condom?
Yes.
Because we know the difference between a condom going in and a condom not being on.
I got pregnant. He was the only person I slept with. I contacted him as soon as I found out. He started the court proceedings, not me. I never asked him for any money, never asked him for any child support. He did that to get the DNA to go through the courts. And the courts came back and sent him his judgment.
He asked you to abort the baby.
I have 5 children.
Wait a minute.
I used to escort years ago, Tasha.
What do you mean escort?
I used to tour America. I used to make $10,000 a month.
Escorting?
Yes, escorting. And my boyfriend now is getting a vasectomy.
You got a boyfriend?
Yes, I do. I have a boyfriend.
You ain't got no time to be having
a boyfriend.
And nobody.
I have a boyfriend.
I'm going to have to talk to you.
Listen to this, Tasha. Only because...
Toria. All right, so you contacted me about 4 years ago.
And I was pregnant, remember?
You did?
So she was pretty much wanting to be somebody's baby mama at this point, because why? I can go on and on about Tasha K's stuff. She is
You know that
she's a messy queen. And since I am back, and I don't want to just drown you guys too much with the drama. You guys live for it because you just keep listening and you can't stop, like me. I won't go too crazy. Let's go to Reddit right quick too. Plus, I haven't really read anything. Reddit, get it? But I haven't watched too much drama. Like I said, I'm slowly tipping my way back in. I had to watch some of my shows as well. So let's see what the women are talking about. Who is the best man you've ever known who you neither slept with nor are related to, and why? I'll just say it was this like coach that I had in high school. He was like our weight training coach. He seemed like a decent guy. But I personally will never vouch for anybody unless I personally know you, because people can appear to be stand-up guys, and then you find out in today's world, somebody said, yeah, they're high school teachers, all of my guy friends, my best friend's husband, my boss. Wow. You guys have a lot of faith in these guys that you assume are stand-up guys. I personally, like I said, I can't vouch for nobody. Women who have been stood up by a guy you really have feelings for. How did this make you feel? How did you recover? I've not been stood up by a guy. I know when I was younger, I had somebody that liked my cousin more than me, and he kind of like used me to get to my cousin, but I was like so young. My cousin ended up not liking him, then he tried to come back, and it's like, no dude, go. Somebody said I wasn't stood up in person or anything, but I was ghosted after a date. After having some drunken sex with a guy, I felt super low and worthless initially before I accepted that he's an a-hole and I deserve better. I stood up for my husband behind his back by explaining people his good motives and emphasized his positive actions. My ex once censored me through bureaucracy about a minor car accident instead. I hate these things to begin with. I felt better. This whole thing made no sense. Women, what are your thoughts on sharing your gender spaces with biological males? People are annoying, period. But I know in the sauna, which is a gross, grimy place altogether, it's different. I mean, it's nasty to me, so I don't expect much. It doesn't bother me a lot. There's not too many spaces I share with men, except for like that's personal as a sauna. Somebody said if people behave themselves appropriately, why would I care? I'm fine with it as long as they're genuinely trans and making a genuine effort to live as a woman, which, let's be real, the overwhelming majority of people who identify as trans are. The number of men who would pretend to be trans in order to gain access to women's changing room is so low that any of them that try to immediately be sussed out. I went to college around 15 years ago, and back then we had non-gender bathrooms, showers. I never thought it was a big deal. I know when I was in the military, we had open bay showers. They weren't shared, but we had to kind of walk past each other in the hall to get there. I mean, yeah, I guess it comes down to behaving appropriately. And I mean, like I said, in any space, especially small spaces, same sex, opposite sex, I don't like any of them. I'd rather be alone, but it was have somebody come over there. What else? What's the worst first date you've ever been on? Gosh. Mine would be like, I've been catfished before, which I kind of burned out after I seen them. I was like, you know what? you don't even look like yourself, and I've wasted a good outfit and makeup, so I kind of just bounce. It might seem mean, but I feel like if you lie about how you look, I'm not gonna like stay there. And then I've been on dates where guys like this guy, when the dude pulled his penis out on the date. That one was the worst. Yeah, definitely. And if you have not heard that story, it is in one of my previous podcasts. But this guy took me to the movies, and it was the summertime. I should have known something was up because he brung a leather coat. And then as soon as we sat down, he like draped the coat over both of us, which I thought was strange. And then next thing you know, he had his penis out, and it was kind of sticky, like pre-cum. It was pretty bad. Yeah, that's definitely the worst one. So yeah, somebody said we went to Olive Garden where he made jokes about me eating the breadsticks, comparing them to dicks. We left Olive Garden and was driving around when he saw a notification pop up on my phone. He asked me if I was talking to other people. I said yes. This was the only first time we met, and I'm sure he was talking to other people too. Then he started screaming at me, cursing and calling me names. I stopped the car and made him get out. A few months later, I see a Facebook post about him being a rapist. Girl, first of all, why are y'all riding together on the first date? Like, first dates, go separate. That is like, Wow, this girl said date was fine. Went to a cafe with my friend. Owned and talked for hours. After the date, I was left bruised and bleeding because I wouldn't kiss him. Wow. Somebody said, please tell me he got arrested. She said, no, I know this is going to sound, but he only punched me and choked me until he could kiss me. Then he let me go. The police wouldn't do much with that. We were both in the BDSM community, and I let people know there. I'm not sure what happened to him long term. I know he doesn't live in the state anymore. Why he moved, I don't know. What I do know is I've only seen him once since he was on a date. He saw me and left, which I found interesting. You need to like say who he is, because that is scary. This lady says, I'm an Asian woman. A white guy who worked at another department asked me out for a lunch date in a cozy Chinese restaurant. Sweet and sour soup came, and as he started to eat, he started to rant about immigrants running the country, how white people like him will be mourned when all of them perish. He was sure that some kind of race war is incoming, how his grandparents are white and proud and it used to be okay. Then the duck menu came and his rants only got crazier, self-proclaiming himself as a modern Nazi before dessert even arrived. I just ate and listened. Real good food, could enjoy chewing slowly because I did not need to say anything. Wouldn't have gotten a word in between his rants anyway. I wanted to split the bills, not expensive standard in Chinese restaurants. He insisted on paying for some sense of old soul gentleman courtesy or whatever. I dumped his side of a tram, and the tram side and just blocked him on everything. Avoiding him at work was such a drag, though. Luckily, I moved the city not long after. Lesson learned: no crapping where one eats, even if the person is from the other department. Yeah. The day lasted less than 10 minutes, and that time I learned that he got there 5 minutes before I did and already had 2 drinks. He was 10 years older than he claimed. He was at least 80 pounds heavier than his picture. No fat shaming, just being honest. Oh, and he felt divorced. Yeah. Really divorced, or you separated? Y'all gotta ask for them papers, because men be lying about that. Women too. Even when I let him know that his inability to be honest is a deal breaker and that I was out, he insisted on trying to get me and my girlfriends to come ride around on his yacht. His wife didn't need to know, and she was a bee. Wow. Poor wife. But a lot of people are dating and married. I read a Dear Abby about that. Y'all are just out here wilding. Well, guys, like I said, this is first day back. I'm recuperating a lot of things. I had to force this one out tonight. I will come better prepared tomorrow, even though this week is going to be busy, but every week is busy for me. What's new, right? Is it in yet? I need another vacation. What about you guys? It has been great chatting with you. I'm going to be really getting these stories so I can do less talk, because this is nice. Enjoyed talking to you guys, and I will be back tomorrow with more news updates. Is it in yet? Is signing off.